Did you know that the biggest thing holding people back from success is their own uncontrolled mind? No matter how hard you try, if you can't control your thoughts, emotions, and decisions, you won't achieve lasting success in any area of life. But here's the good news. Self-control is a skill that once you learn it, your life, your future, and even your everyday decisions start to change completely. And the book, The Power of Self-Control, explains this life-changing power in simple terms. Today, you'll get to learn some of the key insights from this book that are right on time for what you need. You'll hear real advice that will make your life stronger, steadier, and more successful. Self-control. It's not just a word, it has the power to change your whole life. No matter how big, successful, or skilled a person is, if they lose control over themselves, they lose everything. This book teaches a simple truth. You don't need anyone else to change your life. All you need is to take control of yourself. Problems in life come because your mind always tries to lead you the wrong way. Like, for example, when you're working and suddenly your mind felt like scrolling through social media for a bit, needed a break from studying. When I was angry, my mind told me to respond right away. If you follow your mind, it'll lead you astray. But if you control your mind, it'll guide you the right way. That's where self-control kicks in. Think about a person's story. Every day they decide to be better, learn more, work harder, but the moment they wake up, their mind says, not today, start tomorrow. So they wait for tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. Their mind just keeps stalling their dreams. It destroys. But there's another person this book talks about. He knows that if you follow your mind blindly, life gets ruined. But if you control your mind, life gets built up. So he tells his mind, I won't do whatever you want. I'll do what's right. This one decision changes your whole life. People think self-control is something tough, but really it's just a bunch of small decisions, like not replying when you're angry, not backing down when you're scared, starting work when you feel lazy, stopping yourself when tempted, standing firm after failure. These small acts of control slowly make a person strong from within. It says that as long as you stay a slave to your emotions, no rule, plan, course, or book in the world can help you, because the enemy isn't outside, it's inside you. The day you control that enemy, your real journey begins. There's a great example in the book about a trader whose decisions were always driven by emotions. Fear made him sell, greed made him buy at the wrong time. By the end of the year, he'd lost everything. One day, he paused his life and asked himself, am I really making the right decisions, or is my emotion making decisions for me? That question changed him. He started watching his own feelings. When angry, stay silent for 30 seconds. When scared, take a deep breath. When greedy, remind yourself of your goals. These small controls slowly gave him a new life. By the end of the year, he was in a better place than before because he learned to control himself, not the market. This book says there are two kinds of people in the world. One group takes charge of their life's direction. The other just goes with the flow of their mind and feelings. Those who stay in control, winners, keep going. Those who just drift away end up losing. Which side you're on depends on the little choices you make every day. Today, push a bit forward, hold back a little, be patient, stay smart. Self-control is the ultimate superpower to take charge of your life. No one's born with it, but everyone can learn it. And once you do, every single day after that will be different. Your work, your relationships, your finances, your future, they'll all change. If you can master control over yourself, then the whole world, no one can stop you. People usually think self-control is just a habit or a bit of willpower, but the truth is, self-control is like an invisible steering wheel inside your mind. Whoever holds that steering wheel decides the direction of their life. This book explains that concept more deeply than most people realize. The main reason your life is where it is today isn't your decisions, but the control behind those decisions. For example, imagine two people who both want to wake up at 6 a.m. One gets up, the other doesn't. Both want the same thing and have the same plan, but their level of control is different. The one with control moves forward, while the one without control loses out, even if they really want to succeed. The book says self-control actually changes your inner environment. People think changing their outside world will change their life. New job, new routine, new goals. But if the inside doesn't change, the outside won't last. That's why people make lots of plans but fall off after a few days, because they lack inner control. The book gives a great idea. People don't change by what they do, they change by who they identify as. So, if you can truly convince yourself that you're a disciplined person, then your actions will naturally match that identity. You won't lose yourself. Here's a powerful story. There was a young guy who could get angry very quickly. He'd break down over small things. If someone said something wrong, his whole day would be ruined. One day, his teacher gave him a glass of water and told him to walk in a way that not a single drop would spill. As the student walked, he realized to keep the water from spilling, he had to focus only on the glass, not look around. The teacher said, self-control in life isn't about blocking out outside noise, but about holding on to your inner glass. When do people get angry? When they let what's happening outside seep inside them. When do they break down? When they lose their calm to the outside noise. And when do they truly win? When they learn not to spill their inner water. The book also says self-control isn't just about managing bad habits, it's about protecting your inner peace, a kind of peace that helps you make decisions others can't. This skill is what lies behind the success of many successful people. They never rush into decisions. They never break down under pressure. They never get carried away by emotions. They know that as long as they stay calm inside, no matter what happens outside, they won't change their path. This book explains using psychology that our brain makes decisions within 3 seconds about what we're going to do, but a self-controlled person uses those 3 seconds to their advantage. When anger comes, they pause for 3 seconds. When fear hits, they take 3 seconds to breathe. When laziness shows up, they ask themselves for 3 seconds, will this help the person I want to become in the future? And these 3 seconds make the difference between an ordinary person and an extraordinary person. Here's another deep story. There was a young guy who just couldn't get his life together. He couldn't focus on work, his relationships were a mess, and he was angry at himself. One day, he heard something that stuck with him. If you can't control yourself, you can't control your future. So he started watching his own behavior, when he breaks down, when he falls behind, when he loses focus. Then he made a promise to control one small thing every day. Like today, he'd read for 10 minutes. Tomorrow, he'd walk for 15. Cutting down phone scrolling by just 5 minutes changed him. 6 months later, he was no longer the same person because he learned to control himself, not just his time. The book says self-control isn't just a skill, it's the builder of your future. The day you realize you own your thoughts, actions, emotions, and decisions, that's the day you'll change. The more control you have inside, the clearer your life's direction becomes. The biggest point the book makes is huge success in life doesn't come from big control, but from small control. Small decisions at the start of the day, little actions by the end of day, and daily small improvements. These tiny things create the biggest victories. If you begin applying the ideas from this book bit by bit in your life, you'll be amazed to see your life starting to move exactly in the direction you truly want. People think self-control just means holding back their desires, but the book shows it's actually the invisible driver of your mind. It determines how far you go, where you stop, and where you slip up. In this chapter, self-control isn't just a habit. It's been explained more like mind programming. Because your brain reacts to the signals it regularly receives, your behavior is basically a response to those signals. So, the first step to improving self-control is to give your brain new signals.
The book reveals a deep truth here. 80% of the decisions people make in life are based on emotions, and only 20% come from logic. Self-control is the power that stops emotions and brings logic to the front. Have you ever noticed? Sometimes you hear something wrong and end up doing something you later regret and feel embarrassed about. You've missed out on important tasks because of laziness at some point. In those moments, it wasn't your life, but your emotions that took over. This book breaks through that and brings out a new you. It says that if a person can control their emotions, no one can defeat them. If a person makes decisions with a clear mind, no one can lead them astray. A person who can protect their name, goals, and future is truly self-controlled. There's a really powerful story here. A musician who was very restless as a kid. Any little thing used to make him angry, make wrong decisions, and ruin his own career. One day, his mentor told him, "You're like the Nataraja of your life, but because the drum inside you is always beating, you can't control your dance." Hearing this, he started paying attention